Welcome to episode 1, series 1 of the Live Performance podcast and videocast, where I interview Sean Orr, the founder of MENSHARE, which is a place where men can come and sit down, share their emotions, feelings, and experiences through current day happenings. But above all, be uplifted by other men that have been through similar and are going through similar situations. Mr. Sean Orr, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. We have known each other for a couple of weeks. Just so happened that we've had friends in common, and wow, I've been taken aback by what you've created, what you've started, and it's not only be inspirational for myself. In terms of seeing what MENSHARE, as you can see on the those of you that are watching this on video, the poster behind us, MENSHARE that Sean has created has helped discuss or help open up the opportunity for many men to share their issues, their problems, and just to bring to the table certain things that men don't usually bring up. And I just felt, I'm such a believer in what you've created and really admire what you have done. So Sean, I just want to jump straight in and ask you, if you can just give everybody just a bit of a background on your early life, where you grew up, where you started working in your early career, and where it's brought you today to having created MENSHARE.
I'm originally from Manchester, and I lived on various council estates, working class estates, where you had to grow up quite quick. Kind of a dog eat dog kind of environment. You've got to make sure that you look after yourself and things like that. My early days, I saw my mum. My mum had multiple sclerosis. And I saw my mum go through a lot of pain and a lot of trauma, which I didn't really realise as a child. I just thought that was the norm, and I saw a lot of violence, in the childhood as well. So growing up was challenging, and I often used my sense of humour as a deflection, as a kind of a defence. I don't want people to see my wounds, the real me. I was just like the Joker, the class clown, and all my good friends or brothers who I've known for a long time will tell you that I've always been up for a laugh. But in private, I'm quite private. I'm pretty quite a deep person in some respects. So my first job was working in a supermarket, which I loved, which was great. Loved socialising with the guys. It was good fun. It was easy. And then I kind of went straight from that into different areas, so into like kind of renewable energy, and I then kind of dipped in and out of various sales positions, and I decided I wanted to go back to college, and I chose leisure and tourism. Most of my friends were in the industry, seemed to be having a great time and good perks, and I thought, I'll have a bit of that. I did that. I worked for a company called First Choice Holidays. Then I came down here because I got offered a job with them. Met my first wife at the same time, and things just progressed very well for me. I mean, since I've moved down south, it's been a lot of doors have opened, which is great. And along that journey, I've suffered a lot with my mental health. If you'll know the truth, I've had a lot of highs and lows with myself, going through divorce and things like that has its toll. But I always bought self-help books. My first book was How to Win Friends Influenced Them by Dale Carnegie. That was my first book.
Amazing book.
But the two people who really saved my life was Paul McKenna and Tony Robbins. I did their program, so I went and saw Tony live in London. And they just made me think, I want to help people and give back. And I joined a men's group, mentoring young men, 18 to 25-year-olds.
Great. And that was in Manchester or here?
This was here, yeah, in
South London, south of London.
Well, they do all over the country, which they taught me many things about myself, and and we had some magical, life-changing times with them, really. So I did 10 years with them, run their community for them, and yeah, I'm very grateful for that, for those learnings, and pandemic kicked in, things changed, groups changed, and I decided just to step away for a bit and have a bit of me time. And I decided then to go back to it at the tail end of the pandemic, where I mentored quite a lot of men, young men, come out of prison and things like that, which was very valuable, and watched them change their lives as well and become family men, which was great. And then
this is all part of that group.
So I decided that I kind of wanted to break away from that and just have a bit of time with myself and with my family. And the couple of friends of mine went through a tough time, and a friend of mine who committed suicide because he couldn't play music in the pandemic. And that was shocking to the community, and it was shocking to me because this guy was really positive. He was a very easy-going guy. He played my type of music anyway.
What type of music was
it? He played a lot of stuff like Oasis, The Jam, Paul Weller, all that kind of stuff.
Guitarist, pianist?
Guitarist, yeah. But he helped young men with sound checks and guitar, and he gave back to these young men. And to hear that he took his life was shocking to me. So I sat in my bedroom, and I sat there thinking, right, I want to do something about this. There's nothing out there for the older men. And I sat there and I thought, men share information, men share, and I just had this vision in my head straight away of what it was going to look like. And got a room at the Age UK Centre by a lady called Christine Saunders, who really helped to get off the ground. And I had a couple of colleagues who kind of came in with me as well. And yeah, we got, it took us 5 weeks to get a man through the door. The fourth week, I was sat there thinking, is this going to work? Seriously. And then the fifth week, one man come in, and now we've nearly got 200 men. Wow. We've been going 2 years now. But Crawley it's thriving for the wrong reasons, might I add. I always tell the men, put me out of business, because if everyone's well and everything's good, I wouldn't need to run a group. Of course. So we're busy for the wrong reasons, but we're there to serve and support.
Totally. I mean, and then the first man that came through the door. How was that? What did he bring with him? How did he come to know of the group? And what solutions were discussed, or were there anything in particular that was worked on with that man that came through the?
Yeah, as an overview, when the first man came, we basically just opened up the room to him. The most important thing was to make him feel comfortable, and smiling, just being ourselves and friendly, and we just run our format for the evening, and we helped him to talk because he wasn't used to talking to men, and the data what came out of that conversation was like mind blowing. And for him, there was tears because this data was trapped in his head for 15 years, and in one evening he's telling somebody, a stranger, which is me and the guys, and it was eye opening for him. And he came every week. And what he got out of it was he slept. He told me that when he went home, he slept a full 8 hours, and because he suffered from insomnia, right, and he slept full 8 hours after that evening. Wow. So that was like in itself was. The next man who came along had a story of suicide, and he was still in that kind of mindful state. And again, we supported him with listening. Within the evenings, we offer lots of discussions around grief, anger, meaning, self-purpose, and we explore that with the men, and And in a group setting, it's very kindred. A man supporting another man is there's nothing like it. The masculinity says that men shouldn't talk to men because it's seen as weakness.
Yes, yes.
But in that circle, it's magical.
For sure.
You know, out there in society, you're deemed as a weak man, or get over it, have a drink, man up, what's up with you? You always get like this.
Totally.
And we don't accept that language in our group.
Nice.
Ours is welcome, brother. Welcome.
And it's incredible. I've been to a couple of the sessions, and everything is in confidentiality. It's kept within the room, whatever is discussed there, which I think is also a pretty important thing when a lot of men are bringing so many internal issues to the circles. But just having been in those circles and having seen men hug each other, embrace each other. Put your hands on certain gentlemen that are finding it hard. That empowerment that you so highly speak of, and tell the other men within the group, what do you see in this man? What do you see in that power that you transmit to that person that's going through that? You can feel it. I felt it so much, and just by you having, I guess, your beginning days within the previous group has taught you all of these mediation, understanding, empathetic ways on how to intervene on and that's an incredible talent. I have much respect for you to go deep into that.
Okay.
That's it takes a certain character to feel or to help somebody. Just by using taking what they've said and kind of changing it into to be more meaningful to that person and the group as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, in terms of being that mediator, how do you feel when a problem is presented to the group, and how do you kind of look into it and help that person?
Well, first of all, we celebrate the man for revealing that data. That's the most important part. When a man checks in with something, what could be, and there is some stories there which could make your toes curl, and and men's eyes kind of widen up. But allowing that space for him to do that, and for me, it's all about being real. I have to be real with that man. I can't be coming in thinking I'm doing a job. My job is to tell this man what he needs to hear, make him feel like that everything's okay. No, the real work with most men's groups, including AA, CA, NA, all those kind of abuse groups, help men going through, their addictions and things like that, is being real. And once they see you're real, they trust you and then they open up. So for me, to see them kind of arrive saying that they're not going to check in, to then hearing other men tell their stories, and then they say, I would like to say something. That for me is like the real power. That's courage, absolute courage, because, people think it's easy to kind of talk about their problems. It's the hardest part. So we celebrate it, and the men really do celebrate it with that man. They make that man feel welcomed as part of, and you've heard it many times being in the group, Courtney, the word family is mentioned quite a lot. And with family comes, connection, communication. When the evening finishes, these men still connect after the group. Walks. Let me help you with lifting some logs. And that's the beautiful thing what's been created here.
For sure. And I have, in terms of that connection, I have communicated with some guys out of the group, and we've maintained. I actually, which I have forgotten to send today, is send a couple of those guys a motivational message at the start of the week, just to say, hey, get on. Hopefully this might boost you through the week, and that for those people, those gentlemen or women that might be listening, the checking in aspect. It's I'll just describe how it happens in that people go in and they check in, have their 4 minutes, right? It's mainly 4 minutes just to describe what happens, what has happened in the past week, and if anybody has any questions that can assist that person through their time. In terms of people wanting to join the group, how easy is it to access it? Where can they find out more about MENSHARE and what they're about?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, they can go onto the website. So they can go to www.menshare.listeninggroup.co.uk, and that'll tell you all about what we do and obviously the places where we are. There's the Facebook group as well. We're on there. We're constantly putting on, which circles are running, which times. They can contact us on 0705 995 336.
Okay.
And they can contact us on that number as well.
And that's messaging or
yeah, if they leave a message, we'll come back to them. But, at the moment, obviously, we serve the NHS and many wonderful kind of third-party organisations. We're only a support group at the moment. Virtually on layman terms of a charity soon. So the fact that we're supporting those major organisations is great. So guys, if you are working with key workers, or you're working with the NHS or Sussex Partnership or prescribers or your local doctors, and then do inquire about whether they've heard about us. If they haven't, then obviously get in touch. Website, Facebook, that telephone number as well. We have got leaflets everywhere around Crawley. Just out of interest, on a Monday at Crawley Baptist Church, and we are non-religious and non-political, to be very clear. Down at Crawley Baptist Church, Crabtree Road, which is in Crawley, RH11 7HJ. Get there for about 10 to 7 in the evening. We start at 7, we finish at 9. Biscuits and hot drinks provided. And then on Wednesdays we do 2 circles. So we do, again, Crawley Baptist Church, 4:30 to 6:30, and then straight after we do 7 till 9. So there's lots and lots of opportunities. On Tuesday as well, we're at East Grinstead as well. So we're at the St Swithin's Parish Hall, which is at the church, and that's just off St Swithin Close, and that's RH19 3BB. Again, that's a 7 to 9 circle. So all on our website. When I get in touch with myself, just have to email info@mensharelisteninggroup.co.uk, or you can do .com. Both will come through.
Okay. No, and then in terms of just for those that don't know where Crawley is and these postcodes are, those that might be maybe flying in from different parts of the world, because it is located in the south of the UK, United Kingdom. Gatwick Airport is about 10 minutes from all these, pretty much 10 minutes from all these locations that shown. And I'll also put a link in the description in the description to where MENSHARE is. And for anybody that might want to just pop in and see what it's all about, if they're flying from all over Europe or even local or internationally as well, because Gatwick Airport, United Kingdom being such a close hub as well. So it's open to anybody, any culture, any age as well.
Absolutely, 18 onwards. We have young men in our group. We have men from many different cultural backgrounds. All is welcome. We don't discriminate. I have to be very clear that our circles, high levels of confidentiality. We're very, very strict. We deem it as like if any man breaks confidentiality, they're not really welcome to the circle because it creates mistrust. And with no trust is no relationship. So we are heavily into that.
No, totally. And then I just want to touch upon, what has been one of the, you mentioned by having a man come into the circle and just share his thoughts is one of the most joyous moments for you. Has there been another occasion or another occasions that you've potentially stopped a man from committing suicide in any ways? Has there been any of those instances?
Yeah, they have. And not because we're not. I have to be very clear. We're not like trained suicide counsellors. We're not a crisis team. We're not the Samaritans. We are a support group, just offering circles, listening circles, and nature weekends and things like that. But yes, received a call. A man was in a bad place. He was part of our circle, and went around there and got the services there. And yeah, he was in a bit of a difficult position. So absolutely, we have. But we've done it in a very indirect way as well. When we get testimonials from the guys, they're telling us that without MENSHARE Listening Group, that they don't feel like they would be here. Or we've had men who've stood at the edge of Beachy Head, at the edge of England, before you go towards France, who've stood there contemplating suicide. From that point to now, they're actually running one of my circles. Because we empower them and we invest in them. And that's what it's about. We're not there to fix them. We're not there to tell them, rescue them. All we're there to do is just make them feel part of something and empower them with training and skills. And now that man is leading other men to be able to talk and explore. And then he's hearing men talk about suicide, but he's more than qualified to connect with them because having been through that himself.
That's incredible. And that right there is a pure example of what MENSHARE is about. I mean, you mentioned the nature weekends. What can you give us a bit more about what that entails and how that connects men?
Yeah, definitely. So with nature, we take the men out into nature around various sites in the southeast, and we just take the men there to get away from concrete jungle. Just to get away from the noise, the expectations of being a man, things like that, and the traumas and whatever they're going through. And we just take them into a forest, and we just basically get a fire going, and we just have a connection. And after that weekend, men feel like they've left something behind in that forest or in that camp, and that's just another way of looking at it. Men, including myself, all men. When I walk around, I see, and might sound a bit funny, but I see men as onions with legs, because if you chop that man in half, you'll see the layers, and in the centre is the core, and the core is where we first started, and a layer through life is going on, it's getting bigger and bigger, and every layer is either responsibility or something what's happened to somebody, like trauma, abuse, things like that. What we're here to do is just to help men just to take off a little layer, one at a time, and nature, helps with that as well. Yeah. So they just feel a little bit lighter, which means that they're distancing themselves from the black dog. The black dog is, as you know, is depression. So and deep depression leads to suicidal thoughts. So we're just who we are. We're just not an authentic group. Men truly love men in a spiritual connecting way. Yeah. But the nature weekends certainly bring that extra level of service to them.
Yeah, incredible. And it's come up to just over 2 years that the group has been.
2 years, yeah, it's been phenomenal.
And you just run me those figures again. So you had said there's now how many men that are.
We're kind of on the verge of 200 men in 2 years. And that's just men who've kind of come to the circle and things like that. We are looking at, we've got the referral numbers on top of that. Right. Where men have not engaged, or it's not for them, or they can't get out of the house because of high level mental health challenges, things like that. But we still support them. We can give them a call. We've got new services lined up for the future, which we'll announce once they're obviously live. Which will, hopefully we can alleviate some of those kind of issues and things like that. But it's an honour. It's an honour.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen. I regard you. I know we've known each other for maybe a couple of months now, and I honestly regard you as a father figure. And I see, having been to a couple of the sessions, that a lot of men. Look towards you as you have created this, you've assisted them, you taken them step by step, and then there's also that I know you also are open after that men's share group to have those one-to-ones, and you open the door to the men after that particular group. So, additional assistance, if required. For the next 6 months to the next year, where would you like to see MENSHARE, and how, where would you, from what you've started 2 years ago, where would you like to see it?
Well, what I'd like to see is just for the core, the infrastructure, just getting bigger and bigger. With more men, more leaders, more partners. We work in partnership with a lot of guys. We work in partnership with Nuffield Health.
Okay.
Have been amazing to our group. We work with the council been behind us. So we've got Rivers LPC. Which is a long-standing charity. So we want to work with more partnerships. I've said this all along. I'm a one community-minded man. I'm not interested in is we do this, you do that, we can't work together. We understand there's funding, to apply for, and it can be difficult sometimes. But for us, it's let's join together. Let's look at a partnership of what we can offer. You offer something different to what we do, and we can offer you something, and together, we can serve. That's my mindset. I'm already working with people. Think, well, that's a little bit conflict of interest. I'm like, well, no, because I want them to succeed. There's many men's groups evolving out there where they've started off and they've approached saying, how do we get bigger and stronger? And I'm saying, well, let's have a meeting, because it's not about this is mine and you can't have it, and how dare you contact. I'm not interested. I'm all for one community. We've got a women's group as well, as you know, which is MENSHARE Listening Group. We're all about serving everyone, and I think for us, all I can say to you is that if you're in a community we're not at the moment, and you would like to run a men's circle in your village or town, then do get in touch with me, because we're looking for other communities to evolve so you can serve them men. We can train you for free. We won't charge you. We'll train you for free. We'll come down. We'll help you get the venue. We'll look at funding in that area, get you some funding in the pot, so you can get them on these nature weekends and things like this. So if you're a man now watching this video who's wishing to set up their own men's group and you don't know how to do it, get in touch. We can set you a MENSHARE Listening Group. And guess what? It's yours. You'll be running it as your entity. It's not a business. It's just it's a franchise model where we don't want millions of pounds. We want millions of lives saved. And we're not going to save millions of lives, obviously, but we're in this to save lives or support lives. That's it. Simple.
Incredible, Sean. You say that the collaborative angle and I've seen there's something called the Barbers Collective, where barbers are seen to be psychologists, therapists, because they have been given that opportunity or that opening to be so close to a man's face and head. And also listen and hear stories that man might not want to share with other people. And then there's other groups. I think it's called Pass the Baton, which is also in West Sussex or Sussex based group. But that collaboration and coming all together, I think it's, as I say, you can't do it all alone. People can't. Problems cannot be solved or by one person or one group. It's got to be a collaborative thing. Sean, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you, and just one last thing, if there's anything that you can say to the gentlemen that are listening, or it might even be the partners of the gentleman or sisters of the gentleman that could need that additional help. What would you urge them to do in terms of coming out or being able to connect or share?
Yeah, the message would be is that, if you're talking here, nobody can hear you. And the overthinking is the problem. The thinking of, I've got to go there, and you'll talk yourself out of it, or you'll think yourself out of it. So my invitation to you is that if you are yourself suffering, or you need support, or you know somebody who needs support, then the best thing to do is to reach out. You don't have to attend our circle straight away. You can have a conversation over the phone, and we can give you more information. It's voluntary, it's free. You're not signed up for life. There's no contract. It's you come as often or less as you like. But what I will say is, if you come along to our circles, I promise you this, you will have made the right decision, because who else can you talk to? The doctors, unfortunately, inundated. And as much as they can't treat you as personally, because you're just one of many coming through that door. Time to talk is 13 months waiting list. There's not much out there for the counsellors. Your waiting list of like 6 months. Private counsellors. So don't be going seeing the Samaritan groups, or don't be going seeing anybody where it's like the mental health team. If you come to us now and talk, that will be a healthy decision for you, because then that'll contribute for you not to slide and do anything, which we want any human being to do, and then be rescued and having to go to these other groups and then get referred to us. Right now, get in touch. We're in Hawley, East Grinstead, Crawley. The ladies are in Crawley Thursdays, based at the Crawley Baptist Church. Right. So it's important that we're there to offer that message out there. So guys, challenge yourself, pick up the phone, let's have a chat. Everyone who comes with high anxieties or they don't know what to say, there's no expectation. If you don't want to talk, you want to sit there and just see what it's about, all welcome. But whatever you bring, men will look you in the eyes and they will connect with you. Ladies will look you in the eyes and connect with you. You don't get that in society. Too many judgments.
Totally. Totally. Sean, once again, thank you so much for sharing this work, and I will put all the description, the links in below, and the times of the meetings, the MENSHARE groups, for all the locations as well. But yeah, thanks for your time, and thanks for being that father figure to many. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Thank you very much. Cheers.